Welcome and thank you for joining Diaries of an Ex-Adult Entertainer with Robyn Robbins, the podcast, where we have real, raw, and uncut conversations about transforming negative experiences. Get ready to be empowered to take inspired action to heal, activate inner liberation, and birth your new. Hey, everybody. I'm back. It is your illustrious, vivacious host, Robyn Robbins, the midwife, back with another episode. And I'm so excited because me and my sister friend is about to cut up. Y'all get ready for some real, raw, and uncut conversation. Listen, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into introducing our guest. Are you ready? All right. Natalie turned her mess into a powerful message. Oh my God, I can't hear the saints already. Not only a powerful message, but a message of victory as she bounced back from heartache and shame. Her absolute passion is to help women recognize the queen within and become the best version of themselves. Natalie has overcome many obstacles in her life and is now helping women do the same. Natalie is the CEO of Release the Queen in You Enterprises, LLC. Y'all know what I mean is real, right? Where she encourages, empowers, and equips queens to break free from their past so they can move forward to get their breakthrough. Natalie published her very first book titled Release the Queen in You in 2015. Her third book, Broken No More, will be released in January of 2022. Natalie has traveled internationally as a motivational speaker, empowering queens everywhere, y'all. Not just there, not just here, not just near, but everywhere. I can't hear nobody. All right, empowering them to be the best version of themselves. Natalie is a wonderful speaker, coach, and mentor. Her overall goal is to continue to travel the world, sharing her message of faith, hope, and love. When she isn't traveling, she enjoys being a mother of a wonderful young man named Khalil, thrifting and finding new restaurants to try. Y'all welcome my sister friend right through here, and y'all better clap really hard for Natalie Louis, honey. How are you?
Hello. I am great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited because I know this is about to get real good. Like y'all better go get your notepad. Get your notepad and your pen and, rewind, stop, pause as many times as you need to. I might repeat some things, might have some drop the mic moments. So, you just gotta, just tune in. Just
part.
Come on in the room. Come on in the room.
See, I'm done. There we go. I told y'all it's my already. See, I can't with you. I'm already cutting up. It's early. We haven't even said nothing yet. And I'm here cutting up with you. Nat, so talk to the people. As I like to say, the saints and the ones that ain't. Don't worry, we love you all. Yes, we do. We love each and every one of you. Listen, mother, this woman has an amazing story. She has experienced some things, y'all, which more than qualifies her to empower others, specifically women, to release the queen within them. Natalie, I want to start by you bringing us into your world. Talk to us about some of these hurdles, honey, that you've had to overcome.
Well, let's see. Where do I even begin? let's go to the beginning. So for me, a lot of things stem from so growing up, I lived in a 2-parent household. Everything from the outside looked beautiful, right? The Lewis family, we're great people. Woohoo! But behind closed doors, it wasn't always as great and jazzy as it should be, because it started out with, I'm the youngest, but I'm actually not daddy's little girl. So it started out with the rejection, trying to wonder, oh, do we see me? Am I here? Is he not getting it? So for a long time as a young girl and teenager, I struggled with that aspect of like, man, my dad, hello, hey, daddy, hey. So I went out and I seek that attention, and wrong attention, when you young and you cute and you got a body,
Body.
you're gonna get some attention, and you can get the wrong attention. So I was a young mother, got pregnant at 15, just turning. So my sweet 16 wasn't a party. It was literally a cake and me finding out maybe 2-3 weeks before that I was actually pregnant. So it was just like, okay, well, what does this even mean? What do I do? And I had previously seen my sister go through that because she got pregnant at 15 as well. And in my mind, I'm like, Lord, this was not supposed to happen to me. So, going through that, preparing my mind, because, Christian household, we don't abort. We don't do that. We don't do none of that. So prepare my mind to be a mom. And then I had a miscarriage. And that was just I guess the beginning of a spiral of what really just happened to me, and emotions everywhere, and not knowing okay, what is it? And people knowing and people looking at me funny. So it was just a lot of me fighting me, not so much what people were saying, but a lot of, oh my God, they know. Or, oh my God, they knew I was pregnant, but then I'm not pregnant no more. Oh my God, I got this family in church and they knew I was out here living wild and doing what I wanted to do. And it was just a lot of trying to figure out, what am I doing? What am I doing? Where am I going? Why am I here? Why did this happen to me? And I really feel like that actually started a silent depression.
That's good.
I was just jolly-go-lucky, happy, funny, cracking jokes, making everybody else laugh. But when I think about it, I was actually really not happy, really depressed, really lost, really trying to find my way. Mm-hmm. And it took me a very long journey to do so. So in doing that, me and that person, I had the child where we thought we were going to be together forever, we broke up. So, you just grow up and you just look and you search love. And eventually I got pregnant again and had my son. And then that relationship was 6 years of toxicity, very toxic, almost like the movie Baby Boy without the other baby mama. That toxic.
Yeah.
So dealing with that, okay, now I'm a single mom. How do I figure this out? What do I do with this? Yeah. And just a lot of just transitions and different. So being a single mom, working 2-3 jobs, I didn't have a huge support system. I don't know why people think every single mom has this huge support, grandmas and all. No, my mom was there, but she was also, that was the beginning stages of her becoming sick. So she couldn't be as hands-on all the time. His family wasn't hands-on like that because they ain't like me. We gonna keep it 100. So it was just a lot of figuring it out day to day, survival mode. What am I doing? I got this kid. How I'm gonna live my life? How are we gonna make money? How we gonna eat? What am I doing? It was a lot of those questions. So with that, ending it with his dad, still trying to find love because, that part of me was broken. So I still felt like, am I worthy enough? Am I good enough? Is somebody going to want me? And now I got this kid, they really going to want me? So really it was an internal struggle that on the outside, it looked like I had it all together because I always had a good job, always had a car, had my own apartment. I look good. On paper, I look great.
Yeah. Ooh.
But behind the scenes,
Ooh.
Behind all of that, this girl was a hot mess, still trying to figure it out. People say, young people, young mothers are this and that. I was just like, look, all I know is I gotta work, make sure this baby's straight, make sure I'm straight. Still got in bad relationships, was with people who didn't value me, people who cheated, people who had babies on me. I mean, it was just one bad thing after the next. And it was almost like I was trying to find love when I didn't realize until later that the love that I was looking for was right there all the time in my face. Like God was like, girl, I got you. I'm here, but you looking over there. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and run. Go do that over there. I'll see you when you come back because you're gonna be back. So it was like that was my relationship with God. And I always grew up in the church, so I knew what to do. I just wasn't doing it. And then even with that because of the struggles that I had in relationships, that made me feel like, well, God don't love me either. Or God gonna do me like all the other men. He gonna do me like my daddy. He gonna do me like my ex. He gonna do me like all these men. So I had an issue even having a real serious relationship with God because I was looking at it from a broken point of view of, what he love me for? I keep messing up anyway. So why? Just so it was just a struggle. And then I just had a moment, and this is really what kind of broke me and what started the journey of becoming an author and speaker and all that. Where it was right in the beginning stages when my mom was getting sick. She had an opportunity to relocate somewhere warmer. So I was like, go ahead, do your thing. We were staying in a house of a family friend, and that family friend decided that they didn't want to rent to us no more. Literally, it was like at the end of the month, you got to get out. Yeah. So I was like, well, how? Like, how this gonna work? We're still trying to figure it out. Finances. Like I said, I was cute on paper, but behind the scenes, it was a mess. So I was cute with my heels and my outfit. My credit was jacked up. I ain't had no savings. I ain't had no this. So it was just like, the whole situation.
Girl, I do.
So even with that, it was like, okay, I really don't have nowhere to go. This man is really making us get out. So literally, I became homeless for about 6 to 7 months. And during that time, I always said I wanted to be an author. I said that since I was younger. My mom's friend gifted me a book. My first book that I actually read all the way through by myself was Maya Angelou, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. And since I read that book, I was like, oh, I want to do that. I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to, it's awesome. That was my mindset. Then I wanted to be a librarian, which is weird because who wants to be a librarian? Like, who really wants to just be a librarian? And then you notice, like, it's really hard to become a librarian because they get them jobs for keep forever. So, so just trying to figure out, what am I doing? Just day-to-day survival mode. Going through that process of having to humble myself because, when you're young and you think you got it all together, you ask for help. You're not opening your mouth and say, I need help. You can't do that. And then it was a fear of, because every time I did say I need help, people would drop me and forget me and, oh, I helped you. And you remember when I did? And you get to a point where you just like, I'm good. I'm going to figure it out. So I was always I'm going to figure it out. But, God's funny. He was like, oh, you think you're going to figure it out? I'm going to figure this out for you, but I'm going to let you think you got it. So me thinking I got it, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So in the course of probably 6 or 7 months, I stayed in 3 people's homes. Literally in a room, in a couch, my car, like you name it. So during that process, I really just was like, I just got to get closer to God, praying, journaling, running from the repo man. I didn't have one of those things. You know how people get things in the car with a shut off? I didn't have that. But but I was like, I'm not about to update my address either because you're not about to take my car. So all these things prior to me having to move out, I did lose my job too because my mom kept getting sick and I kept having to leave. And call centers, they don't care nothing about your life.
Right.
You are a number. If you're not in that seat, I don't care. If you're not dead, you better pick up the phone and call somebody. So lost my job with that. So it was just a time of what is happening, like a spiral of things that just kept going on. And then where it hit me the most is because of that, I had to have my son stay with his dad for a period of time. And I remember my son came over, and at the time I was staying at my son's daycare provider's house in room, leaving throughout the day because we didn't want nobody to come. And you know how sometimes they check daycares and you got to have a certain amount of adults and kids there. So I left like I was working somewhere, and then I came back at night and went to sleep. But one night he was there and he's like, Mommy, why we can't go home? Why we can't go to our home? And he was like, started crying and everything. And I'm like, yeah, we can never experience this again. Something has to give, something has to change. So going through that, looking for jobs, got a job, got an apartment, great, awesome, wonderful. And you would have thought that I would have did something different and my life would have been changed in that moment. And for certain things, it was. I feel like I definitely developed a deeper relationship with God. I definitely felt like it was like a power struggle because I still struggle with the insecurity of, am I worthy? Am I good enough?
Right.
Can I do this? Can I live holy? Can I be right? And then I struggled with, well, I hate all men, including my daddy. Like I was angry. I was
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
Angry as heck. And meanwhile, just trying to figure everything out. So I was upset, angry. And then I just got into this mode of where I just, again, kept looking for love. Wrong situationships, wrong things. Got with a guy thinking it was cool. Told him like, hey, I want to wait till marriage. I don't want to have sex. Had a situation, went to his house one night. We chilling, talking, cuddly, laffy daffy, ha ha kiki. And went in his room, we kissing, whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Well, apparently he didn't get the memo. And afterwards, I think I just remember just laying there like, what just happened to me? Did that happen to me? And literally after that, for like weeks on weeks, I just kept saying to myself and burying it like, nah, that wasn't it. And then I shouldn't have been there. So no, that didn't, really in my head, going back and forth, arguing with myself about it. So from that point, I kind of shut down. Another little silent depression of mine. I'm laughing. I'm looking good. I'm taking care of my son. I look like Superman. Everything's great. But it wasn't. Right. It wasn't. Not even a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that these ups and downs and these different ebbs and flows of life, if you will, and recognizing the insecurities and the things that were kind of like, it's almost as though you were living out of that place. You were living your life from that lens, from that vantage point, from that place of these insecurities and the not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, which we all can absolutely identify with, to now, having the situation of being homeless, having to let your son stay with your, with his dad, and then, experiencing getting sexually assaulted. At this juncture and at this point, where did your mind go? God bless you. Where did your mind go?
Excuse me.
It's okay.
I feel like my mind just was like shut down. Like, like how you shut down the computer and you can hear it go off. I felt like it was like it was just each incident made it go worse, made me go deeper into it. And I just felt like, well, I can't tell nobody. Like, I can't let nobody know because one, I shouldn't have been there. It was my fault. You know how, because when you brought up in church and you're brought up in purity culture, I'm gonna say something that might make somebody mad.
Oh no,
that's not healthy. That's not healthy. It's not healthy. That whole movement is not healthy.
It's
and
unbalanced.
I'm not saying live your best life and you do what you do. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, when you grow up in that, you will blame yourself. You'll be like, oh, I kissed somebody. Oh, I'm attracted to somebody. Oh, like, that's what we supposed to do that. So I felt like that was my punishment for being grown. I shouldn't have been at his house and I shouldn't have did this and so going through that, just stuck in my mind.
Yeah. I
was really stuck.
Yeah, I want to elaborate on that really quickly because I want people to understand what we mean when we say that whole movement is a no-go. What we mean is that there's nothing wrong with saving yourself, but the lack of support, the lack of education, the lack of, okay, you're telling me not to do this, but you're not showing me how to actually live, how to actually execute. What are the barriers? What are the parameters? What's okay? What's not okay? Like, you know what I mean? The church often doesn't go into stuff. It's always just, don't do this. This is wrong. But are you showing me how to properly date?
That part.
You know what I mean? Are you showing me? Are you giving me
tools?
Yeah. So that's why I say unbalanced. That it's not a lot of tools. Like I even remember for me, growing up, it was my adoptive mother stressed the importance of education. Oh my God, get an education. You have to have an education. Get an education, and don't come up in my house pregnant. But where's the actual talk about the birds and the bees? Where are the tools? Where are the parameters? Where are where is the stuff that we need to not,
need?
And, and I want, people, when someone experiences sexual assault, whether they grew up in the church or not, one of us, a common thing is to blame yourself. I know for a long time, for me personally, I blamed myself. I just was like, oh, I must be a magnet for this crap. It must be me, because it keeps happening. I get it.
Yeah. And also with it, it's like, okay, you're telling me not to, and you're not even telling me why. Only thing you're saying is don't get pregnant. But it's like curiosity killed the cat. And I want to know why.
And that was my that was me. Kendra.
Wow.
That was me too. Nosy. You said don't do it.
So
you said don't do it. That it must be something I need to see, or what's happening over there. Find out what's happening.
And here's the thing about it, it's just the whole, when you live life with a broken point of view, you're always going to feel like, oh my God, I did something. I did something to deserve how people are treating me. I did something to deserve what happened to me. You're always going to have that hanging over your head, because you're thinking like, well, it must be me. It got to be me. And then come into having a relationship with God, someone that you can't see. Oh, it's definitely me. Like, he can see me do all this stuff. And God don't love me. No, you don't. Don't tell me that. God don't love me, because I done did a lot of stuff. And I know what I did. Behind the scenes, like, I know what I did. But even still, going to church every Sunday. It don't matter what I did Saturday night. I was at somebody's church on Sunday. Because it was just stuck in my mind to do that, because that's how my father was very, what's the word I'm looking for? He was strict, because Haitian parents. He's Caribbean. But like when it came down to church, it's like, yeah, you're gonna be dead. I don't care if you're sick, you're still coming. So it was kind of like that serious. Yeah. So that stuck with me. So I'm thankful for that though, because it stuck with me. But also, it was a struggle, because I'm like, I know what I'm doing, and I know what I shouldn't be doing, but I'm doing it anyways. And I don't even really know why. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know why. I'm looking for a feeling. I'm looking for something. I don't know what this is. To just try to fill a void, fill a hole. And it was relationships for me. And not to say that I was in like a whole bunch of them, because every relationship I was in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Right.
But it was just the wrong people, giving love and thinking, okay, if I love you hard, you're gonna love me. I'm gonna love you into loving me.
Right.
Like I'm gonna love you so hard that you're gonna love me. And realizing, nah, baby, that ain't it. You gotta love yourself. You gotta wake up to yourself. You gotta be happy with yourself, and nobody else is going to come in and pour your cup and do all that extraness for you. But it took me a long time to realize that, because I was so looking for that and wanting that, not recognizing that I had it with me all the time, but also not recognizing that I deserve better. That I can have better, that I am a queen. That I am royalty. It took a whole lot of stuff for me going through to realize, like, wait a minute, no, life gotta be better than this. I don't have my heart broken every way you could possibly think of. I don't, try to give. I don't been betrayed too many times. Lord, what is this? What is this? And how do I fix it?
Yeah.
And really, when I started asking those questions and being free from the need to have somebody, because that was me. I was that girl. I was that girl that was like, okay, on to the next. Like that was me. But spending that time with myself. Once my son was maybe about 5 or 6, that I was like, okay, I gotta change some things, because I realized I was angry, and he helped me realize how angry I was. Because he'd be like, "Mommy, you're mean." And I'm like, who want their child, 5, 6-year-old child, really being serious and saying it like, you're mean, or you yelling, you this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I gotta fix that. I gotta fix that. So really looking at myself and realizing I'm still hurt because of what my dad did. So being older, I had made a choice that no, I'm gonna forgive him. So we actually did talk several times. And it still wasn't maybe everything that I had hoped for, but I was able to get everything out. And now we cool. I can call him. He can call me. Ain't no problem. It doesn't feel weird. I don't feel, any weird issues. But I had to go through that and recognize that. So for those of you listening and watching, and you find yourself in that place where you're stuck in an emotion, whether it be fear, anger, sadness, depression, whatever, you got to ask yourself, where is this coming from? Where did this start? And for me, I realized that it started there. So I had to go back to the place it started to fix it and ask God to help me deal with it, because we can't control what other people do. You can only control how you respond, how you react. So for me, that was the beginning of my healing journey. Doing that, and then also doing the same thing with my son's father. Okay, this man getting on my nerves, but at the same time, we got this baby, we got to figure it out. Let me try to do what I can do. And it's just going back, thinking of different things and different situations, how God got me out of the homelessness, and I got my own apartment, got my own car, got my own job. I was back on track. I was like, we back, baby. So going through all of that, getting back on my feet, but still internally, behind the scenes, still battling back and forth with that.
Yes.
Am I worthy enough? Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? So even when it came down to writing the first book, after all of that, was homeless, got my new apartment, got a job, had a car again. After all of that, God kept telling me to write, and I'm writing. I always kept a journal. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's talking about writing my journal. I already do that. No, and he was like, no, write the book. And then he gave me the title, write the book. But when he gave me the title for my first book, that's when I was living in people's houses. And it was funny because I was like, release the queen. I don't feel like no queen. God, you funny. I'm not writing this book. And I didn't. I did not. I was like, no, we're not going to do that. When God tells you to do something, He's not gonna let it go. And then I kept seeing people around me write books, and I'm like, all right, let me just go ahead and get to writing.
Yeah.
You let me go do that. So I went to writing, and I shelved it. Because even still struggling, God, are people gonna read this? God, I'm sharing something in here that don't nobody know. Even my parents don't know. Like, God, what we doing? But just being obedient, writing a book, release the book, and it was like, it was like a thing off my shoulder, where God just showed me how that mess that I thought was just gonna be a mess forever can be turned into a message and help and empower others. But even through that, one thing I also learned was, yes, you overcome that, but there's more. And I think sometimes we can get stuck into things that we overcome, where we stay stuck there. But there's so much more beyond what you just overcome. And not saying that you're not gonna have more challenges that come after that, because we can talk all day about challenges that came after that.
Right.
But being able to be obedient, being able to see how the hell that you went through, and the thing that you thought that was gonna overtake you and cause you to lose your mind, and at some point I felt like I did, how it can be used for God to still get the glory out of it, and for people to see, oh my God, I didn't know you went through that, because I was so good at masking it, wearing that I'm strong, I'm a queen, I got this. And I was great. I was like a great musician or something. Not musician, what's the other word?
Magician.
Magician with it. So to the point where God had to check me again. And He checked me again when my mama got sick. Mom got sick. it was just like one sickness after another, like a living, walking testimony she is in this house right now. But one thing after another. It was a heart attack. It was kidney failure. I mean, they literally was like, yeah, so you want to put her in hospice? And at the time, I didn't understand it because it was like I was getting ready to like slide off because I was getting all these speaking engagements. I had to cancel 6 speaking engagements that year. And I was just like, God, I thought this was going to be the year. Like, what's happening? And even through that, he's like, we got a little bit more. We got to go a little bit deeper. We got to go a little deeper. So going through that, realizing and recognizing how important your environment is. I think that was the lesson that I needed to learn for that season of my life, to recognize like, okay, you accomplished some things, you did some things, but before I take you to that next place, I got to clear this up real quick because you got relationships, friendships, you're in environments that are not really necessarily for you. We got to fix this. And for me, that almost took me out. Not the sickness, not the previous stuff, but the pulling away from people that you thought was your A1s, day ones, and gonna be there forever. And it's the being isolation of being by yourself, where it is that period where you do have that just you and God time, where you feel like what's going on, or that period where your obedience has to be greater than what makes sense to people.
That part.
And people looking at you like, listen, people looking at you like, is you, girl, you going crazy? No, I'm just being obedient. I just gotta obey. And people will, at one point I was like, God, did you turn me over to myself? Like,
right.
You still here?
That part. Like, I've asked that a few times. Are we good? Is this a relevant?
Because that isolation and that pulling away from people is so real. So in order for you, it was like like you said earlier, it was stage after stage, but I felt like this last thing was just more so, I gotta show you me for real. I have to, you know me as a healer, you see your mama every day. You know me as a provider. It's been a whole pandemic and you ain't without, and you was caregiving and wasn't working and y'all was good. Like, I've seen all of that, but to know the love of God, in a different way, in a way where you just know, like, yo, I don't know what God got for y'all, but for me, He got me. Like, we good. To be able to say that with confidence now, from always running from that, always thinking it needed to be something different, always looking for that from men. It was a big, it was like a light bulb aha moment that went off, where I was like, man, I was running for myself.
Wow.
I was running for God. I was looking for what you had already provided right in front of my face. But because I wanted it to look like and feel like and be like whatever, I just was out here just living crazy. And learning unnecessary lessons that I probably didn't have to learn had I just obeyed.
Wow. So what would you say are some of the key things throughout your healing journey, as your book so eloquently puts it, broken no more? What was that? What were the key elements in that journey that helped you to heal and overcome? What are the things you had to recognize, and the things that, you're like, okay, pop, this is it.
Well, let me just start to say, the journey is still going on, right? Because healing is a consistent thing. I think sometimes when we talk about healing, sometimes, because this was my thought, like, okay, God, we're going to get there. And when we get to the top of the mountain, I'm going to be great. And He's like, no, you're not. There's more stuff up there. So just knowing that healing is an ongoing process, I think that's one of the things I've learned. But also recognizing, like, it ain't everybody else. Really, you was fighting with yourself, girl. Because at the end of the day, I had to really come to terms with, I can't control nobody else, but what I can control is myself. How I respond to things, how I let things bother me. I mean, I had to go to the point of where did I first start feeling unworthy? Why do I get upset when people say things? I like the triggers. I had to recognize what they were. So that's number one. Why am I so angry? Why can't I go from 0 to 1,000 real quick? Now, part of that is the Haitian side. Blame that. And the New York in me. Sorry. But it's more to that, right? You know how sometimes we be trying to cover up our stuff, like, well, it's because it was more to it. So I had to ask myself, like, okay, why am I responding this way? Or why am I allowing what other people say about me to bother me so much? So number one was triggers. I had to figure out why have I let what this one person said literally mess up my entire day? No, we can't do this no more. The other thing for me was just being aware. I think a lot of times we're not aware of how we're really feeling because, and I'm gonna go back to this, and sorry, not sorry for y'all saints deeper than the ocean saints. Sorry, not sorry, but you know,
not deeper than the ocean.
Deeper than they be out there. They be in, where the lifeguard can't see you. You know, the lifeguard blowing the whistle. That's where they be at. God bless you, saints. But for that, I think it was like just being aware. Like I feel like we have been so, and I'm gonna blame the church too, where we have been taught to suppress how we feel. So to the point where it's like, I can't feel sad. I gotta be jolly. I gotta be happy. Praise the Lord, saints. Oh my God. And God is good today. And now we know that's not realistic. That's not realistic. And I have learned now to listen. I have stayed away from people like that because I can't. Oh, my mom just died, but the joy of the Lord is my strength. You're not gonna mourn. I just lost my job, but God, God gonna make a way. I'm happy. Like you're not mad. Like you have no. So I feel like we've been taught to suppress our every emotion that we feel. If it's not joy, if it's not a praise, we gotta suppress it. So that's what I've learned, and I've realized that I suppress a lot of different emotions. I suppressed what even happened to me. I wasn't even able to say, hey, I was raped until this last year and a half. Like those words, I wouldn't even let the words come out of my mouth because I suppressed it so much. Or even able to say, hey, I was depressed. Yeah, y'all probably didn't know, but I was.
Right.
Or, hey, I struggle with anxiety. Hey, I've had a panic attack. So just being able to say those things and just be honest with yourself, because you can't heal from what you hiding. You can't heal from what you're not willing to deal with. And if you're not ready to face it, then you're not going to really heal from it. You can't keep burying how you feel. You can't be, I mask myself with I'm so strong. And listen, you call me strong now. I'm about ready to fight you.
Listen, I took my cape off and laid it at his feet. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, strong. What? I don't want that.
That?
I don't want that.
I don't know what that is.
Please don't admire me for that. I don't want that. That's not it. So even having to even come down and humble myself, like, you don't have to be strong. It's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to cry. And it's okay to release what you released. And it didn't hit me until the time when my mom was sick. My mom was, I don't know if she was at dialysis or in the hospital. In the hospital. She was in the hospital, and I was just having a moment where I was just like, Lord, I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to keep having to go back to the hospital. And I sat on the couch, and I literally cried for like 3 hours. It would not stop. And I just knew that was something different. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not okay. You're not, this is not what you do, but it was something I needed to do that. Yeah. Because I needed to release everything that I was feeling, but it was just like, girl, you better check in with yourself because what's going on here? So I had to go through that, and I had to have that little mini breakdown moment where I was just like, okay, these tears not just about my mama. Like these are some other tears that I've been suppressing for so long, because when you're the strong one, you can't, you got to be strong. You don't have a choice. Everybody's depending on you. Everybody's leaning on you. Everybody needs you. Everybody, and then it's like when you project that on social media that your life is all good and everything's all together and everything's great because that's what you've been taught to do. When you're just like, oh, I'm going through pure hell, but God got me. And that is nothing wrong with saying that. But at the same time, you got to acknowledge how you're feeling with what you're going through so that you can get through it and process it the right way. And for years, I mean, even starting back to me losing a baby and being pregnant, I suppressed it. Suppressed it. I think I cried one time. That was actually when I went to the doctor and they did the ultrasound. They was like, yeah, there's no baby there. I cried after that, and I don't think I cried again at all. Like it was so deeply rooted in just holding on to stuff. So just being able to be aware and telling myself that it's okay to feel how you feel.
Right. That's right.
Be mad, be sad, go off if you need to, breathe, find ways to release whatever it is that you're feeling, but don't hold it in.
Right. Absolutely.
Don't hold it in. So if you're listening and you're to the point where you feel like, okay, I'm up here, I don't know how to, you got to process it, you got to feel it. And that may be crying, that may be, I don't know, eating the whole thing of ice cream.
Sometimes it happens. Or screaming inside of a pillow.
Yes.
I mean, or punching the pillow. I mean, you do what you have to do.
You do what you have
You do what you have to do.
And it's okay to feel those things, and you're not crazy. You don't have a lack of faith.
Nope.
Your faith is not lacking because you feel what you feel. Let me say that again because I'm going to repeat that until you get it. Your faith is not lacking because you feel what you feel. That don't mean you don't have faith. That don't mean you don't know that God can't turn it around. That don't mean that you know that God is not with you. You still need to feel what you feel.
You just are having your moment of humanity.
Yes.
And for the saints that are deeper than the ocean, who are probably acting like they don't understand what we're saying. Even when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed and said, if it be your will, let this cup pass. Yes, that was him and his humanity, so much so he was praying so hard. Could I not do this for real, please?
Right.
That his sweat was droplets of blood.
Yes.
He had his moment of humanity. And I agree with everything that you're saying, that how it's why I say the church is imbalanced. I don't want to speak in terms of literally right now, because I do know that so many things are shifting.
Yes.
Changing for the better. But I do know prior to this pandemic, the body was so imbalanced.
Yeah.
So imbalanced in so many ways. We would need a whole nother podcast episode to go into that. But imbalanced in so many ways. Like you're saying, we're saying, oh, how you doing? So-and-so, I'm blessed and highly favored. Well, I'm this, no, I'm that. And it's like, but on the inside, you really want a hug and you're going through a little something right now. And instead of just saying, honestly, I really could use a hug. Even if you didn't want to disclose the details of what you're experiencing.
What was going on.
Right now, I really could use I just need a good hug. And that being okay. Versus us feeling like we have to continue to put up this facade, which stems back to so many. It's not just the church. This even goes back to slavery. I was talking about that, y'all. And if y'all didn't catch episode number 1 of season 2, catch that. I laid that whole thing out. This paradigm. But I'm just so grateful that we are in a place and in a space where we are recognizing these things are not healthy.
Yes.
And it's because of these things that we have what I like to call, high functioning, dysfunctional adults.
Yes.
That's what I call them. So like you said, on the outside, we look good. We look good on paper, but it's a muck on the inside. And I have a heart for them people.
Hot mess.
Them my people. You high achieving, you look great on paper. I feel like, come on here, honey. Come on, come on.
Let me help you.
Yeah, come on. Let me help. Because I know what that's like.
It is so real, especially with social media. It's so easy. Now it's easy because you can project whatever you want. You can look like $1,000,000 and have it all together with your filters and whatnot. You can look amazing. Your life could look great. It could seem awesome.
Yeah.
From a post. But we have to get past that. And I definitely feel like this pandemic has awakened a lot of us. Like a lot of us were asleep. We woke now. You know, they talk about being woke. No, we woke in a different way, as in, okay, God, we just want you.
Right.
All the politics, all the games, all of that, all the old ways, old systems. I just want you. And if I just need to be in my bedroom and it's me and you, let's rock it out.
Listen, that part right there. I'm not gonna do this with you, Nat, because you're going and go with you, but I cannot go with you, because if I go with you, this is gonna be something else. So go on with he's sending you, and I'm going to just support. I'm gonna be your Aaron.
Well, here's the thing. Because here's the thing with that, you know, not the glasses, not the glow glasses.
I'm gonna hold your arms.
I'm hollering, but it's true because pandemic, you couldn't go to church. Years before that, I couldn't go to church because my mom needed 24/7 care. So I feel like God had to break me out of the religious, like church became a routine at one point. Like literally, I'm on the praise team. I'm just going every Sunday, every Wednesday at rehearsal. I'm there 4 times a week, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, the whole week. And before my mom had got sick, I remember her telling me. And at first, I was offended. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, "What's she talking about?" She was just like, you know, I know you love church, but your whole life can't be church. And I was like, it ain't. Like, she don't pray me. Like, I just go to church. That's all I do. But after I thought about it, I was like, that's all I do. Like, I don't have a life. I don't do nothing besides that. So, you know, with the pandemic and with her being sick, I had to. A lot of people associate church with a relationship with God, but if you need church to have a relationship with God, you're in trouble.
That's right.
And you don't have a relationship with God. You have religion. You have the routine of getting up every Sunday and going to be seen and be cute with your Sunday's best on and your hat and your little shoes and your purse and your bags, whatever. But if God don't go where you go, wherever that is.
Oh, I just felt that, girl. I keep telling you, always starting stuff. Go ahead.
If God can't go wherever that is, it could be your car, it could be a club, it could be anywhere. So you have to let your light shine. Yeah, he was talking about everywhere, like everywhere, like every place, that the corner store, the grocery store. You never know where God want to show up and do his thing. So you have to just be okay with that. And I feel like the pandemic, and even before that, for me, just having to stay home, that opened my eyes up to. It's not so much that I don't need the church because you want to be around good community or whatever, but it opened my mind up to that wasn't the only way.
Yes.
And God can do whatever he wants to do through you in multiple different ways.
Yes.
I didn't understand why that happened. I didn't understand why my mom was sick. But afterwards, I got it like, oh, because I needed to sit down because he still has stuff. He had to show me, like the real me, not the me that I'm up here playing to be, but the real me. And then with the pandemic, it's like, okay, yeah, he had to show me about environments and places that I was in. Time to move. Time to move forward.
Yeah, purge, release that. Oh yeah.
So knowing, that's the other thing too. Being surrounded by the right people. Some of that healing process is being stuck because you're around the wrong people.
Correct.
People that don't like you can't help heal you. Oh, I'm gonna just say that one more time because somebody
run that one back.
People that don't like you can't help heal you. Don't like you. You always gonna be broken to them. Broken, broke, confused, whatever. Like their point of view of you is distorted. So how are they gonna help you heal?
Cannot.
They can't.
My therapist, she's so brilliant. She says it this way. She says, you cannot stay in the environment that wounded you and try to heal.
Nope.
Cannot.
You just keep getting cut. You'll keep getting cut and you will bleed out.
That's right.
And not in a good way.
Won't survive that. Sometimes, situations, certain things are different. And depending on the circumstance and possibly, what God is trying to birth through you, there may be some exceptions. There may be. But when I look back over my life and the things I've overcome in my experiences, I literally see me being extracted from each environment.
Yes.
At some point, probably didn't happen right away, but at some point, I was extracted in or left that environment that was wounding me in order for me to be in a space to truly just woosah and to heal.
Yeah.
So that right there is powerful.
Yeah.
What people are you around? Those of you listening, that you're like, yeah, I'm on this journey to birth my new. I'm on this journey of transforming my experiences. I understand that a part of that journey is healing.
Yeah.
Who are you around right now? What environments are you in? Are these environments the very environments that wounded you? Are these people the very people that wounded you?
That's the whole word. Mic drop. And you have to be willing to let those people go. You can't save them. You can't even save yourself. You can't save them. So you have to be willing to let those people go. You have to be willing to say, my healing, my journey, my next place is so much more important than me holding on to this. Because the more you hold on, the more you, like you said, you're going to cut yourself. Absolutely. And I realized that I was in environments trying to heal in places where I got sickened. I was trying to heal in places where people who were sick, trying to heal the sick, that don't work.
Don't work.
I was in places where people who they were okay with the facade, the double. I'm not okay with that.
Right.
they were okay with that. And it's like, I can't rock with you with that, because that's not how I operate. So being willing to separate yourself. And sometimes, and I feel like this is what God will do, because he loves us so much. He'll be like, all right, you're not going to move. Let me do something real quick.
That part.
Now you see it. Now you're going to move. Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for finally listening.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes he will do some things to get you to wake up. Like, I told you to move. Because the thing about when God tell you to move and it don't make sense, and you are a little big heart soul, but God, those are my people, and God. You gotta ask yourself, would they do the same for you if God told them to move? And then after you move, God will sometimes reveal to you, like, see now, you see it now? Okay. So you just have to be mindful of your journey.
Yeah, as you were speaking, the image that came to my mind was, we was talking about the ocean earlier. I saw someone literally in the water holding onto the raft with like one hand in the donut, trying to stay afloat. But what I was seeing was the other arm moving, paddling toward the others, trying to save them. But you're not even properly inside of the lifeguard. You see what I'm saying? Donut thing. You're not properly fastened. You're not secured and anchored enough in the contraption that has the power that I feel by. I hope I try not to do this to save your life, but yet you trying to paddle to go save somebody else.
No, don't do it. You will drown in the process. You will drown in the process. And when you drown, that raft gonna be somewhere else. And them people gonna be somewhere else. And I can guarantee you, those people that saw you drown, they're not coming for you.
At all. At all.
They might not even call 911. They might pick, you know what they might do? They might pick up their phone and record it.
That part, and post it on social media while you crying out for help. Help. And y'all see this?
Y'all see this? It's entertainment. Don't be nobody's entertainment, man.
Ooh,
Don't do it.
mic drop.
Don't be nobody's entertainment. Don't do it. Don't let nobody let you turn them into your entertainment. And that's a whole nother podcast.
That right there, but I felt that. I felt that.
That's a whole nother
Oh, that's
podcast.
a whole word.
Because here's the thing about being other people's entertainment. Like I said, they're going to record you. They're going to look at you. They're going to critique you. They're going to laugh at you. And you could be hollering for help. And they even may have the resources to help you. But they're not going to. They're not going to. Because the entertainment is there to entertain. So don't let yourself become anybody's entertainment. That goes for friendships, relationships, business partners, even to yourself. Because sometimes we be entertaining ourselves with the facade and foolishness that we be putting out there, knowing behind the scenes it ain't right. That's why you got people helping with credit when they credit messed up. That's why you got people trying to, help other people with losing weight, yet they can't lose weight, or they done already went to Dr. Miami and got their whole body done up and got you up here chasing a dream body that they done paid for.
I can't.
That's why you got coaches who need a coach and a therapist.
Coaching
other people.
You said that. That's good. That's good.
It's so many different levels to this. And I feel like this is the year. And if God has not pumped you to heal this year, and you were looking for a sign, this is your sign. Because I feel like before we get to the end of the thing that God really wants us, it is like a mandate to heal, like a requirement to get your life. Now, I'm not saying be perfect, because ain't none of us. Listen, none of us are perfect. So I'm not saying you got to be perfect, Patty, and you can't have no mishaps and nothing like that. But what I am saying is that it's time out for the double. It's time up for you being one thing one way and another thing another way. And like I said previously, I lived most of my life that way. Why? Because that's what I saw. For number one.
Right.
Two, that's what I was taught. Within the church and seeing the doubleness and I can do this and not really having that solid relationship with God until I got older, where I really came to the revelation of, okay, I have to walk upright. I have to really do this. I get it now. And going through all the stuff that I overcame and went through, realizing that at the end of the day, I have to do what God says, period, point blank. Yeah. Even if I don't like it.
Right.
And to me, when I talk about being a queen and wearing your crown, when you are in position and you put that crown on and you allow God to polish your crown, clean it up, make it all sparkly. And I believe it's Proverbs 5:6 or 5:5. I may be off. But, when you put him first, he'll crown your efforts with success. That's why he wants to be first.
I like that version. Woo.
I love that version. I believe that's the Lord, bring it to me. It's coming. Hold on. It's going down low. But that's the version. It's going down low. But that, when I read that, I was like, ooh. So put him first, he'll crown my efforts with success. And then you got to define what success looks like for you.
For you.
Everybody ain't going to be a billionaire. All this, I'm a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire next year. You can't even handle a little couple thousand that God gave you.
I was just about to say, our stewardship is called into question, and then a lot of us want to be millionaires and billionaires, but we have the work ethic of 100-naire, meaning you're gonna make hundreds, and them hundreds will end up into some thousands, but you don't even have the work ethic of a millionaire.
Or you just want to be a billionaire so you can flash and flaunt and say you made it. You doing it to prove your haters wrong.
Right, the
wrong mindset,
wrong motives,
wrong motive. And we're not saying that God can't do it; He can. But are you ready for that?
Heart check.
Are you ready for that?
Capacity check. Mindset.
You want to be a queen? You ready to wear this crown? Because it's gonna get heavy. You're gonna have to operate different. You can't do what they do. You can't look how they look. You can't even speak how they speak.
Come on.
You can't be the queen and you clapping back at every dog that barks.
Woo, woo,
I'm just saying, and it's hard. I'm speaking from
Experience. Come
especially when
on.
people coming from you, and I'm already a hothead anyway. So people coming from you, and it's a New York thing where you don't disrespect us. We don't do disrespect very well at all. Like, period. I don't know if y'all seen that game with LeBron and that dude from Rochester. My city was about to beat LeBron James up. Yeah, we don't do disrespect. So, having to learn that, you have to have a whole different character about you.
Oh yeah.
If you really gonna walk into the things that God has called you to be, whatever it is. If it's writing books, if it's speaking, if it's just taking care of your family. Because I think we also mess up is we think that purpose is this big grand, wonderful, gotta have a stage type thing. No, your purpose could be being the best mom you could be for your children. Set your children up for success. Make sure your children don't go through the same hell that you went through. Your purpose can be, you just being a giver, you having the resources to tell people where to go if they need help.
That's right.
I know somebody like that. I can call her right now. Hey, I got somebody that need this. She literally in 5 minutes tell me where to go. You don't know what it is, and you don't have to have this big platform and 10,000 followers and all of this stuff what social media made it.
Yeah.
You just have to be who God called you to be. And to me, true success and being the queen that God called you to be is really when you are walking in the will and playing a purpose that He has for your life. Yeah. But you also have to know, and this is part of my story and part of Broken No More, is that yes, you can be broken. You've been broken. You had things happen. But on this journey, you have to make the choice that, okay, am I going to allow these circumstances or this situation to keep me bound, or am I going to keep moving? Am I going to keep going? Am I going to take this, what looks broken, this mess? How can that be turned into a message? What did I learn from this? That's one of the biggest things you can ask yourself when you're going through hell. What can I learn from this? So, okay, boom, ex-relationship. What can I learn from this? You can't love nobody into loving you. Mm-hmm. Boom, finances messed up. What can I learn from this? You got to budget. You got to pay the people what you owe them. You can't cut it off. You got to give them their money when it's due. Okay. How do I get a close relationship with God? Well, you got to do something. God ain't gonna just be He ain't just gonna come down and single you out. No, you got to make that time, just like you cultivate the relationship with that man. That's probably isn't the man God got for you. You got to do the work. You cannot go into this new year thinking you about to have new things, new experiences, and you ain't doing the work.
You tapping all into what I've been talking about. Listen,
you're just not. It's not gonna happen for you. You've been sitting here waiting for God. Oh God, I'm praying and okay, God, and yeah. Okay, God's like, okay, and you gotta do something. So if you want your life to transform, you gotta make it happen. You gotta make it happen.
Or we should say, you have to do your part.
Do your part, and He'll meet you there.
Your part in making it happen.
Yes.
I will say this now. What you're saying is so powerful, and I feel like that's why, for me personally, I've been in a space and in a place where it kept ringing out in my spirit. We have been taught so much to don't share what you're going through and what's happening until after you've overcome it, and then then it's okay. And it's like, I have gotten to a place where I recognize the harm in that. That's that imbalance. Yes. Because we do that, and it's like people are kind of inspired by it, like, wow, okay, at least I know that this too shall pass, or there will be an expected end. But how?
Yeah.
How do I get out of this slump or get out of this place? And this is one of the reasons why I was like, I have to go forward and push this podcast out and share these powerful stories of how all of you are just transforming your experiences, so people can see how unique those transformations are, but also see the common components and denominators in it that you cannot get out of. And that is that personal development, which is that, also that healing,
you cannot.
that, you know what I mean? That that call to really examine and look at self and call a spade a spade. And so that's why I'm like, okay, I got to do this podcast. And that's why I also started blogging. I've blogged for so many other people, but I'm like, I got to blog because I don't need to wait till I'm done going through this process that I'm in right now. I need to start sharing right now in all transparency so that people could literally witness the how.
That part.
Let the how bear witness.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
and by you even saying it, because we've been taught to suppress and not say anything, you're helping someone else recognize, like, oh, I'm right there. Mm-hmm. So let me not put this facade on. Let me go get the help I need. Let me reach out and see, what's good so I can become better, because we've grown so accustomed to just, like you said, oh, don't put your business out there and don't let nobody know, and ask for prayer, but don't tell people what it is. First of all, don't you come to me and ask me for prayer and you ain't gonna tell me what it is, because I'm looking at you sideways, because I don't know what I'm coming to agreement with. So
that part.
But the whole private, and I get it. Yes, some things should be private. I get it. I understand that aspect. But you don't know, just by you saying I'm not okay, how you're helping someone else say I'm not okay either.
Right. Very much so true. Very much so true. You, like you said, not everything we should share, but for those of you who know that you are called to a certain thing, and that's what it was that I had to recognize. I said, I can't keep listening to these people and these leaders that are like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't share that, wait to this. And it's like, but what you're graceful what you're called to. I'm graceful what I'm called to.
Yes.
And a part of that obedience is, even if I'm afraid, even if I don't know how this is going to work out. Now, I'm not stupid. I'm sure people are going to have stuff to say about the things that I share. But I'm not worried about that. What my focus is like you said, being obedient.
Yeah.
Being obedient. I know the Lord told me, share my story. Period.
And that part. All of it.
So
that's the
that
other
part.
Thing. The whole thing, because some of y'all, I'm gonna go on
real raw and uncut.
You trying to tell little bits and pieces, and you trying to dismiss parts. Let me tell you, don't do that. Tell the whole story, own the whole truth, because that's the way. And you doing so, not only are you helping someone else, but you really setting yourself free. So if you are not being all the way transparent, being somebody transparent, or afraid to put in whatever it is that you're trying to hide, I'm telling you, reveal that thing. Because once you reveal it, I'm telling you, the weights will be lifted off, and you'll be able to help others in a better way, because you're able to say, hey, this is what happened to me, and you're relatable. All of this, cookie cutter, I'm perfect, watch my life, all of that, nobody's falling for that no more. Especially this generation. This generation is not it.
We see through all that.
It's just like okay.
Listen, I know your life ain't perfect. I know you getting on your husband's nerve. I know you getting on your nerves. So you can keep faking the front like it's
that part.
Keep perfect all the time. Try with someone else. Or the fact that what else do we see people do on social media? Oh, you got money, or you doing this, and so like they flaunt all their money, but then we look at millionaires and billionaires commit suicide and take their lives. Ain't nobody stupid. It don't matter how much money you got, if you are not right within yourself. And this is why this call to healing is so important. And to be honest, we've been in that call for like a few years.
Years.
It's been a few years, for that call for us to really, really see ourselves and deal with ourselves so that we can have a better life.
Yeah. And I can't help water you. I can't help water you if I got holes. You put something, water with a cup with holes, the water gonna spread everywhere. I can't pour into you if there's nothing there. Like, what am I pouring? What am I giving? And I'm gonna hit this too, because it just dropped on me, so I gotta say it. Some of y'all are in church pouring. You're empty and you're trying to pour. You're singing, you're leading, and you're pouring on E. You're ushering, pouring on. You're leading youth groups and your I groups, all these little groups things on E. And I'm speaking from experience
Oh,
because I
yeah.
did that for years.
Oh, yeah.
Years I did that. So to the point where it was like, what am I even doing? Why am I even doing this? So if that's you, because somebody listened and that was you, because that thing said poop, so I had to say it. Stop.
Mm-hmm. It is okay
Stop.
to step away. That's that imbalance, because we are taught to serve wounded. We are taught to serve your way through. That's another one of those paradigm shifts, that imbalance. No. Yes, doing great things for others when you may be lacking in that very same area, that right there is called sowing. That's different. See, if you get that thing mixed up, that's a different thing. Okay, that's totally different from just pushing past to serve while bleeding, while wounded. And the thing is this, you've gotta know that when you do that, you are bleeding on others and or cutting others. And that's the part we don't talk about
at all.
Cutting others
at all,
as because you're wounded and you're bleeding. And when
you keep
you're wounded and when you're bleeding, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. It's painful.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. That part. And then many of you're asking God, we're like, why aren't you showing up? He can't. Not with that. He can't. You make a little dance here and there. But he can't.
Period.
And now we are so past that. We are so past that. So past that. So if you didn't get anything from what we all just said, which I hope you got something, but if you didn't get anything, you definitely need to understand that no, you don't have to be perfect to walk in purpose. No, you don't have to be perfect to be loved by God. You are worthy. You are enough. But what you do need to do is take the log out your eye, this eye right here. Take that log out of yours first before you try to take it out of others. So what does that mean? You gotta heal. Yeah. You got to identify your triggers. You got to figure out, why am I triggered? You got to figure out why, all of this just me. I'm just this way. And it's
that ain't it.
That's not going to work. That's not going to work. And you have to come to the terms and then ask yourself, how has that helped me?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's a hard question.
How is this serving you?
How did that serve you? Because now you ain't got no friend, you ain't got no real friends. Your relationships, all of them don't work out. They just horrible. And sometimes that ain't your fault. It's two people in a relationship.
Right.
Your money always funny. You got to be real with yourself. You got to sit in front of the mirror. Take the MAC off or the lip bar, whatever it is that you're in. L'Oreal, Maybelline, whatever. Take it off. And sit with yourself. And I feel like the pandemic God has given us time to do that. Yeah. And even still, and if you were running from yourself, He's still giving you time to do that. So go ahead, do that. Do what you got to do, no matter what it looks like. I have a book coming out, and God literally just told me to go off social media. I'm like, God, how am I going to promote this book? Get off. Okay. Okay, log off. Bye. It's obedience. It don't make sense to me at all, but it's obedience. Yeah. And there's something that He wants to do there. What? I don't know, but He's going to do something. Right. I'm not finished writing. Maybe He's going to give me a whole new chapter. Who knows? Right. I don't know. Right. But I'm doing it.
That's right.
And that's all it takes, is just doing it. Whatever it is that God has pressed upon you to do it. Yeah. That's it.
Oh, y'all, this has been another amazing episode. I'm telling you, I love these just transparent, flowy, heart to heart. Yes. Remember, we are never talking at you. We are talking with you as fellow sisters who have lived it and experienced it, and or in certain areas of life still experiencing it. Because none of us has arrived, and we're in this journey with you. Natalie,
Yes.
tell the people what you have coming up next and where they can connect with you.
Well, I'm super, super excited as y'all been hearing me talk about this book, Broken No More. So it's Broken No More. You are not broken, you are blessed. Because a lot of times we, like I said earlier, we get stuck in that place of, this is just me. Well, I just attract this, and this is just how my life is going to be. And no, it's not. So that book, you can actually pre-order it. It's on my website at www.releasethequeeninYou.com. The release date is January 29th, 2022. So I'm super excited. If you're local, and if you're not local, I will be having a book release event as well. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But keep in touch with me. Email list is going out. So make sure you get on my email list. You can do that on my website. Follow me on social media, except for this next month. I'm really not going to be very social on there, but you can follow me. Just type in my name, Natalie Louis. It's Natalouis. Or on Facebook, it's Release the Queen in You. Just put that in and you'll see my face and my page. And like it, share it, do what you do. And yeah, that's that.
Absolutely. Y'all, listen, I hope that you have gotten some really, 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 really good gems out of this episode. I hope that it has inspired you to be willing to sit with yourself and call a spade and not be afraid of what it is you're experiencing and or feeling, in order to develop, in order to heal, and in order to release the queen on the inside of you and adjust your crown. Okay? As our guest would say, right? I want to remind each and every one of you that don't worry. Every link she just mentioned will be in the description below, so you can find her easily and accessibly. I'm going to lay that all out for you. But more importantly, thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Diaries of an Ex-Adult Entertainer, the podcast. And remember to believe in your future enough to outlive your past. I believe in you. I love you. And I will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning into Diaries of an Ex-Adult Entertainer, the podcast. Don't forget to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Robyn D. Robbins. Important links for this episode can be found in the description. Until next time, share this podcast with a friend. Hugs and much love, beautiful soul.